Welcome to the jungle, adventurers, and welcome to the most anticipated survival game in VR of 2022, Green Hell VR, a pure survival in which, in addition to a deep story mode, you will have to put into practice the most extreme survival techniques to try to prevail not on zombies or paranormal entities, but about one of the enemies most feared by explorers around the world, and who will try to kill you in every way, the so-called Green Hell, the Amazon rainforest. In this review, I'm talking only and exclusively about the Quest 2 version, profoundly different from the PC version coming in some time, in which I have already accumulated over 150 hours. And I can define myself an expert thanks to the over 3000 hours accumulated in the flat version released some years ago. So let's venture into the heart of the rainforest and discover Green Hell VR Quest Edition. The guys from Incuvo have developed the transposition in VR of the masterpiece in flat Green Hell, developed by Creepy Jar. This collaboration gave rise to what should have been the survival in VR for excellence, but which nevertheless, at least for the Quest version, need optimization and in some cases even disappointed me a little. But let's not start with the negative aspects, such only for those players who have already granted thousands of hours in this game. Let's see instead how it can be in the eyes of a new one. Starting from the graphic aspect, Incuvo has tried to make the most of the hardware limitation of the Quest 2, so much so as to push it almost to the breaking point, given that in some moments, especially when the elements on the screen are too many, there are evident moments of stuttering. That is, the game loses its fluidity and proceeds in small or sometimes even large freeze. The detail of the models is low, the textures are grainy and the edges jagged. The cures are actually a succession of straight lines. The ambient lights are totally absent and there is only a hint of shadows, and only for the large elements. Despite these, the first impact with Green Hell steals the breath and puts the player in front of an unprecedented spectacle of the nature, with soaring trees and lush forests so dense that a careless eye hardly noticed the extremely shallow depth of field. In the open areas, on the other hand, continuous popping phenomena occur. In example, graphic elements that suddenly appear in the distance. For a graphic fanatic, this will be enough to turn off the headset, but Green Hell is much more, and a few minutes later you are mostly likely already injured, poisoned, infected, beaten, hungry, thirsty, or even dead. You can choose between 4 challenges levels during game creation, as the tourist, mode in which there are no predators or enemies, you don't feel hungry, thirsty or tired, you don't have to worry about sanity or health, up to King of the Jungle, whom one survives only if it's a true expert. The story mode offers an adventure during which you discover why you are in the jungle. And it is certainly not a trivial plot, since topics such as the anthropogenic impact on the planet, respect for peoples, and for the most sensitive, they could be touched to tears when the story reveals the reality of the facts. However, the story is only an outline of what is the real way to play Green Hell, the survival mode. You have no purpose to follow, other than to survive as long as possible by exploring the jungle and becoming an expert. During your endless adventure, you will come in contact with animals and plants characteristics of the forest environment, some harmless, such as capybaras, tapirs, and edible mushrooms, and some dangerous and lethal, such as arachnids, snakes, gigantic crocodiles, jaguars, and members of a tribe of headhunters who will attack you on sight. Your survival depends on how quickly you learn to build objects and useful tools to be able to get food, defend yourself, and heal yourself from the many status that can affect you, such as fever, poison, food poisoning, insomnia, and hallucination due to your mental status. Now, the crafting in Green Hell VR Quest Edition has been painfully simplified, both compared to the huge and complex flat version and the VR version on PC. In fact, it's enough to hold in hand two objects that can be combined with each other, such as a stick and a stone. Hold down the two triggers and bring the two objects closer to create a stone axe, which it is possible, furthermore, to add a vine to make it more resistant. In the same way is it possible to try many combinations of objects, gradually discovering all the buildable items. Some of them are found ready-made and marked in your notebook, even showing you the combination of objects required to recreate them. Diary also records all the plants you collect and their effects. Take notes on disease and infections from larvae or parasites, characteristics of animals, a map, and much more. Unfortunately, the section for the creation of housing structures is practically absent. Is it not possible to build the frames on which to then build walls or ceilings? Is it not possible to collect the mud to create more resistant structures? And many of the things that can be done in the flat version in the Quest Edition have been eliminated, heavily penalizing the many possibilities to enjoy this game to the fullest. Such a pity. But, as it was with the PC version, however, is it possible that many possibilities will be added with future DLC, as it probably will be for the cooperative multiplayer mode. Oh, and remember to continuously monitor your watch. It shows you the macro levels, such as proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and hydration, health status, as well as acting as a compass and a calendar. Observe your arms often too, as they will attack leeches, which will gradually bring down your mental health, and you may even find wounds to be treated immediately before they become infected. And I know, I'm not your mother, but wash your hands before eating. So, if you are at your first experience in Green Hell, Quest Edition is perhaps the best you can do so far. And if you like the genre, get ready to waste hours and hours in the immensity of the rainforest and put your skill to the test. If, like me, you are a veteran of this game and the genre, Green Hell VR Quest Edition is a very limited experience compared to what we have been used to. Forget to build those huge camps starting from nothing, changing the characteristics of the forest around you. Forget those vast areas that stretch as far as the eye can see, and be prepared instead for small and confined isolated areas connected to each other by little loading session. And if you know the forest of Green Hell from the PC version like the back of your hand, forget about it, because you will not be able to rely on your memory, because in the Quest version the forest has been completely rearranged. But what I found most disappointing is the choice to eliminate all those elements that on PC pushed me to spend whole days to recover resources to create imposing structures, increasingly resistant objects such as those in metal using the furnace and the oven, and to level up the survival skill tree that is totally missing in the Quest version. In conclusion, is Green Hell VR Quest Edition a good game? Yes, if you are trying a game like this in VR for the first time, and it's still the best on Quest 2 so far. But get ready for a major graphical and technical downgrade, a huge reduction in the possibilities and freedom of action, and a gameplay more focused on continuous exploration rather than crafting and building. Elements that have made the flat version the success that we all know and that we hope to find in VR. I just have to keep hoping for the VR version on PC. Anyway, great job, Incuvo. And thanks once again, Creepy Jar.